Need help?
Yes.
These little guys are all over the site, and they bite and they hurt a lot. What a view to wake up to. Good morning. It is day whatever. Don't know, don't care. But what I do care is we're going to Solace Lake. It's actually in a different provincial park, technically. And it's a lot of portaging. So it's gonna be a long day probably, but we'll see what it's like. The plus side is that whole food situation last night. Well, there it is. Safe and sound. And for the first time ever, I hung it on a dead limb. Just took a swim. It's very nice. Very nice to get clean. On the road again. More like the water. All the way down to Florence, and then we're into a long portage, the longest one of the day. And then a couple more portages after that.
A couple?
Couple.
More like
9.
couples.
9. That would be a couple plus one. Who's the plus one? I don't know. We always have a friend who's the plus one.
Like all of their canoe markers are all things like pots. Disgusting.
A little bit of a sucky monkey situation.
Almost lost my shoe there.
Need help?
Yes. I hate this portage. Have I mentioned that I hate this portage? Oh my god.
And here we thought the paddling sections would give us a break. No. Beaver dams. Some scenic views. Some hard times though. Well, we found out who's been making all the mess around here. the next portage. Very rocky in this area. Very rocky. Open water. Yay, yay, yay. Nice. Lunch on Benner Lake. Great view. 285 into Rod Lake. Or Rod to D's. It's like Todd to We are on the 785. Oh boy. To Pilgrim Creek. On Jeff's map, it says this one is very hard. Whatever that means. Something about it being very wet. And we're off to a great start. With some squishiness of the bog type. Straight down now into the lake. And I want to do this on a rainy day. Be very muddy and slippery. This is what this portage is looking like. And straight uphill the whole time. Woo! Yeah. Nice lake. They're all nice. Every lake is nice.
That should be the one marked as hard.
Yeah.
Lying down. One to go.
Last portage of the day. Guess where it is? Way up there. Through all this mud. Couldn't be easy, could it? Anybody who says that any portage in Algonquin is hard, I'm just gonna zipper my lips shut. This is a whole new ball game when it comes to portaging. Some form of danger sign. In other news, our destination lake for tonight, Solace Lake in Solace Provincial Park. Oh, we're just hoping that nobody is currently camping on both of the sites. Wow. Beautiful. Mosquitoes.
There, you see it? You see its little head?
Yeah. It's gone now. Protecting their young.
Made it. We're alive. For now.
And we're early.
Yeah. 5:15. Haven't made it anywhere else before 6 o'clock, so
yeah.
either we're getting better or it's getting easier. I don't think it's getting easier.
We just did 10 portages, it's not getting easier. And the sky is very nice. No need to set up a tarp. Probably keep the fly off of the tent tonight. It's been super hot in the tent.
It's been very hot today.
So we're just gonna get set up, chillax, go for a swim. Swim would be nice. And enjoy our second last night here. Second last night. I don't look dumb for no reason. Wearing socks, camp, 30 degrees out, flip-flops. But we may have a problem here. These little guys are all over the site. And they bite. And they hurt. A lot. So socks work. But only up to here. I might wear pants too and like stuff them in, but yeah, it's a weird problem. There's no bugs, but now we're getting eaten by ants. So we dehydrated beef for our ramen noodles, and this is our first time dehydrating beef, so here's how we did it. We took some beef and we boiled it, as you can hear in the video. This feels so unnatural. It only took a couple minutes, a little bit of stirring, breaking up the bits, trying to make them as small as possible. We have the Excalibur food dehydrator from Costco. It's got a temperature dial on it. In fact, it tells you what temperatures do what. We poured the beef into the colander, and then we boiled some water in a kettle and took that water and we poured it over top of the beef. Did this a couple times, and this takes away as much as the fat as possible, since fat does not dehydrate, and that's what makes it go rancid. Once that was done and the beef was dry enough, we put it onto the racks. We did discover that the racks have too many holes in them, so we put the lower one with parchment paper. Turn on the fan to burn off the factory smells. We put the 2 trays into the dehydrator, set it to its maximum amount of heat, and put it at 8 hours, which is the recommended amount of time. This is what it looked like when it went in, and this is what it looked like after 2 hours. It was pretty crumbly. We were surprised at how quickly it got that crumbly. After checking the second tray, which had the parchment paper on it, which did work, it caught all the little tiny small pieces that fell through the top tray. We put it back in, set it for the remaining amount of time, and we actually didn't have to go for the whole time, which was impressive. I believe we only did it for 4 hours before some pieces actually started to burn. In the end, we put it all in the parchment paper, slid into a Ziploc, and this is basically what 1 pound of ground beef turns into. Now back to our dehydrated meal of ramen noodles, dehydrated veggie flakes, and our dehydrated beef.
Pretty good. I think the beef dehydrated pretty well. And it rehydrated really well too. It's not chewy or anything. Tastes good. Tomorrow is our shortest day. I say that now. We've been doing somewhere between 15 and 20 kilometers a day. Tomorrow's only 9. Still 7 portages. Most of them are pretty short, but we're heading up into Paul tomorrow, and then that way we'll be nice and close. Just a short paddle the next day for to get back to the car and drive home. So
yeah.
We might take our time tomorrow. Not that we've been rushing at all this trip, but
might be good to leave early and get to camp early and do a little exploring maybe. We'll see. Fine morning it is. Last full trip day into Bog Lake. Just put it in the bag. Morning pack up into that. Oh, it's 10:40. The wind's picked up. We're leaving camp. There's a nice campsite apart from the ants that were everywhere, and they're currently in the canoe too. So. But we're gonna head down the other end of Solace, where we're gonna look for the campsite, the other campsite, see what it's like. And then we're gonna tackle the 720 meter, which is gonna head us towards the Sturgeon River. Very chillax morning, that's for sure. It was nice. Nice to sit around, look around. Balloons came right up to our site a bunch of times. It was really cool. Bit slopey up to it. See what it looks like at the top. A lot more sheltered. Less tent pads. So we decided that we liked ours better because even though it's gusting wind today, we couldn't feel any wind up by the fire pit. We did find a few tenting spots, very lumpy, very rocky and rooty. So if you can stand the ants, go to the other site, onto the portage. Well, first portage of the day. Jeff's map, it says it's quite difficult. So, see what it's like. Oh. Typical Temagami portage. Just lots of rocks and roots. Slow moving, trying to get around them. Try not to twist an ankle. Isn't that hard, but slow going.
yeah, it's tricky footing. I feel like you gotta constantly stare at your feet, and you're not really looking to
see where the trail goes, and just when you think you can look up, you slip on something.
Yeah.
That would have been tricky yesterday when after the rain.
Yeah.
When everything was wet, but it was a little dry today. So.
This is cool. Look closer. It's a lady portaging. There should be more of those in the park, definitely. All around. Actually, they should all be that way. Got a nice tailwind here. It's nice to kind of take a little break from paddling. So it's a bit of a mucky situation going by this marsh. Bit of a muddy situation. Found this little tiny creek here. That goes to the lake. Next portage. This lake is being held up by this beaver dam right here. Getting windier. Special lunch today, last lunch of the trip, and it's very windy, but we have to boil some water. So we got here to get the canoe propped up against a tree, and the twig stuff behind it blocks some of the wind, and this water's gonna be boiling because we're gonna have some Annie's mac and cheese for lunch. So good, so yummy. Put some dehydrated beef in there too. So good. Good last lunch. Off to the next portage on the 95 meter or 90 meter, depending on what map you look at. So we're saying the 92.5 meter canoe rest on a 50 meter portage. Is confusing, but at the same time, does it mean more to come? And this does not look bad at all. Portage has turned into walking through the creek. See how far we get before we have to get back in. Stay to this side if you can.
Yeah, it's deep over here at all.
I made it through, but yeah, obstruction. Oh boy, made it over. Another portage, second last one. And this, my friends, is a ladies only portage. I want to know who keeps doing this. This is awesome. A little bittersweet moment, more like sweet. Last portage of the trip. There it is. Last portage is done. Welcome to the Sturgeon River. Oh. This is beautiful. So I guess this is what separates Ghoul from Fall. This little slip here. Now we're in the fall. So we made it to what we think is the camp. There's no sign, there's a pile of rocks for fire, and there's a spot up there for a tent. But we don't know if it's right. There's a cabin down there, there's the other campsite right there. So both maps say it's in a different place. So, has a fire pit. We're gonna use this for our site tonight. All right. We got supper. 3-bean chili from Alpine Air and spicy sausage pasta. Had the spicy sausage pasta before. So we're looking forward to it. We did add a little too much water last time. I think we followed the directions properly, so we're gonna add a little bit less. And yeah, supper for tonight.
Less water for sure. Worked out a lot nicer last time we made this. It was pretty soupy. But spicy for sure. Nice little kick. Some veggies in there too.
This is only half a bag. Didn't make very much. Tastes good. It's got a weird texture. Lots of salt. Could taste that. But yeah, everything hydrated back well, like the corn and the beans and everything, so. It's good if you don't want a lot of food. There's not a lot in that bag for some reason. My goodness. It's sunset and we're just getting destroyed by deer flies and horse flies. So we're gonna lay in the tent until it gets dark out. Which is up there. So we just ran in the tent. Lots of bugs, lots of deer flies, lots of moose flies. Not moose flies, sorry. I call them moose flies because they're giant. Horse flies. The trip was great, but it was hard. It tested us. There was a lot going on, and
Temagami's a different place than we're used to. That's for sure.
We normally go to Algonquin. You going down the portage, and you can look around, see what's going on. Temagami, it's pay attention all the time because, like, even the shortest portages, we had curveballs and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, swamps, rocks, roots, streams.
Almost every portage had a swamp, some sort of rocks, and some sort of stream you had to cross. So I started showing them at first, but I'm like, this is normal now, so I just stopped showing them. One recommendation is bring Jeff's map, but also bring Ottertooth's Temagami map. You should look it up. There's a lot of great things on there. A lot more information about select areas than Jeff has. Jeff's is quite old, from like 2012 or something like that. So some of the things are in different places and aren't correct.
Some of the portages have moved, and some of the campsites, if you look at one map versus the other, they're not in the same place.
Yeah.
Sometimes Ottertooth's right, sometimes Jeff's right.
Yeah, so bring both so you have a reference for both. And if you're gonna do a trip like this, like we were very ambitious to do. This is our first time in Temagami, and I don't know how many trips you've done. It's camping, like
5 or so.
Yeah, this is my 11th, and do your research because like we had no idea what we were getting into, and we quickly found out the first day like how difficult it is here. And reading a blog post can only go so much. Only go so far to describe what you're going to experience. But definitely look into them to see which portages are the hardest and which
campsites are the best.
Yeah, if a portage is missing, maybe just don't go there. Or if you're not feeling, if you don't have that much time in the day, maybe. But
that's not to say that it isn't beautiful here, because it is. It's very different. It's very rustic. It's very remote. Like, we saw 2 groups of people the whole time we were here. Mm-hmm. We passed one on portage on the second day, and there was another group camped with us on Florence, but it's a big lake, so there was lots of space between us.
The first group, I actually had to speak to the guy because he was looking at the ground and walking, like he didn't even know I was there. That's how many, like how few people are here that you don't even anticipate somebody else coming down the portage.
But it's gorgeous here, you know, the big chunks of Canadian shield, the tall pines, you know, the windswept pines in the forest.
Yeah.
Some really pretty clear water lakes.
Oh yeah, the Sturgeon River is what we usually see in Algonquin. Everywhere else, it was like, oh, rock. And you're like, oh, it's like 10 feet down. That's how clear it is. So it's pretty cool around here. Yeah, it's like Algonquin, but with a lot less dirt on it. So you can see all that rock that's underneath. Yeah, beautiful, different place. Lots of birds here. Lots of, we didn't see much wildlife, but, you know, we left during the hottest times of the day, so wildlife is hiding at that time. But yeah, it was a good trip.
I'll definitely be back.
Yep.
In the future.
Yeah, base camp somewhere.
On an easier trip.
Huh. Good morning. It is 6:50 in the morning. We packed up really quickly and we're just gonna go for it. No breakfast, nothing, because it looks like it's gonna rain today. It feels like it's gonna rain. And if we get rain on that logging road, I don't think we'll be able to get the car out because it will be too muddy. So we're just gonna get back to the car, pack it up, and make that long trek out. I think we made it. There's the bridge there. I see the landing. Oh. My goodness, we actually made it. That was quite the loop. Pack up the car, change your clothes, tackle that road next. It's really mosquito-y. Just how we left it. Oh yeah. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you in the next one.